divided by 1.878. 1.878. Whoa. Well, thanks for joining me on another real world mile per gallon test. And this week we have the 2024 Chrysler Pacifica Plug-in Hybrid. Now, this hybrid is a little bit different, so our test is going to be a little bit different. Our starting point's going to be different, but our ending point is going to be different than previous, but it's the same amount of miles, and the trip will actually be the same route that we take every single time. I'll explain that a little bit more here in just a minute, why we have to do it this way. But let's take a quick look at the car, and then I'll tell you about that, and then we'll get filled up. All right, so like I said, we do have the plug-in hybrid, and this is the premium, and this is kind of middle of the road. It's a select hybrid, which is about middle ground on the hybrid, or the entry of the hybrid, but it is a preferred, and it also has an appearance package on it, which is why the wheels are all blacked out. Black trim, black mirrors, everything is blacked out around here, the back here, and show you how much room there is back here. Now, these, of course, are the stow and go seats. So you have this big, deep cavern right down here. And to put those seats away, it is very easy. We just pull that, and then we pull back on, so this one, no, we gotta pull this here, that unlocks it, and then it pulls down and just flips right down in there, just like that. That's pretty awesome. Then you do have a lot more room going up to the front. All right, let's pop this back up, and then you just pull that, and then you can just flip the headrest right back up. Pretty simple, pretty easy to do, but either way, you do have a lot of space down there in the bottom. That's pretty nice. Okay, and the button for this is actually inside here, so you press that. Gives you a little bit of a warning before it closes. Okay, in the second row, you do just pull the handle and the door slides back, and you have captain's chairs in here, which are really nice. They're black with a white piping, or grayish piping, it actually looks like. You do have a handle right here, so that flips up, and that will pull this seat forward so you can get into that third row easily. And I like that they have the armrests on the sides. That's pretty cool. Okay. Now let's take a look at this front. So in the front, you have the Harman Kardon stereo system, which is pretty nice. And then here's a quick look at the interior. Now, it is the same as it has been in past years. I don't know that this thing interior has been updated since 2019. I'm sure they updated little things, but it hasn't had a complete redesign for a long time. But it really doesn't need it. It actually just looks really nice, and I think it still looks like it belongs in 2024. This does have 260 horsepower, so the engine only part is about 30 miles per gallon, and the electric part is 82 miles per gallon equivalent. So what the EPA doesn't state is what the mile per gallon is when you use electric and the gas combined. So that's what our 100-mile test is going to actually get us to. So the battery in this is, I believe, 16 kilowatt hour. I might be off there, but I will let you know later in the video if I am off. But it gets 32 miles of electric range. So for the first 32 miles, we're going to be driving in electric mostly. That's part of this hybrid thing I'm going to tell you about. This one's a little bit different. And then the gas engine will kick in. So then we'll see at the end what our actual combined mile per gallon is, which is what everybody needs to know, because that's how you drive these things. Here's the thing. This hybrid system, there is no option to shut it off. You cannot drive in EV only, and you cannot drive on engine only. So it's complete hybrid. The plug-in part will drive an electric primarily first. It will switch over to accelerate. When it needs to use the engine, it's going to use the engine, okay? So it's not gonna be straight electric only the entire time. But it will run in electric until it actually can't. Then it'll switch into a hybrid mode. But that's the weird thing is that this you can't shut off the electric part. You can't shut off the gas completely. So this is why we have to do this test a little bit different, because I have to drive to the gas station to fill this up for the test, which means it's going to drive an electric. But we don't want to use all the electric to get to the gas station. So I can't turn it on to the engine to drive to the gas station to save the electric so when we start the test. Because the actual gas station that I usually use is about 5 miles away, so we can't do that. So we're gonna have to use the one right up here, real close. And our test is just going to be a little bit different. Same route, just a little bit slightly different. Different starting, different ending. I'm gonna reset everything before we leave here. Drive to the gas station, we'll in electric, and we'll count those miles. That'll be on the tripometer, and then we'll fill up. We'll get everything lined out, and then we'll leave. And then we will end at this gas station right down the street. So that's how we're gonna do this one. I'll try to explain it a little bit better later on, maybe. Otherwise, let's just get to the gas station and let's get this started. Let's reset everything before we take off. We're gonna reset everything right now. Reset the trip. So that's reset, and then we have to go down and reset this also. We'll reset. Okay, it's reset. Now, why it always pops up to 4.7 miles per gallon. I don't understand why, but it just does. I don't know what to say about that, but we're not going to follow that one anyway. I just wanted to have this changed over here. I didn't want to say like 25 and this say something else. So both of them say 4.7 miles per gallon, and that's where we're going to start. It should just climb because we're on electric as we start to drive. But let's get to the gas station. Let's get this thing filled up. You can see over here, 36 miles it says that we're going to get on battery. I'm not sure if that'll work out right or not, but we'll see. And then gas says 464, but we'll see what that looks like when we fill it up. Because I want to keep you guys updated on everything, we are now at the gas station and we are going to get filled up right here. But this is what's going on. So we went 0.3 miles in electric. So that's reading right up at the very top there. And it says 36.1 miles per gallon. So that should all increase as we drive, but I wanted to make sure you guys saw that, and then I'll show you again after we get filled up. So we saw where we were at there. It was just about 0.3 of a mile, and so we didn't use much electric and no gas. So now we're gonna fill up, so everything should be good. We should be able to follow this along. So let's check this right here. This does not require premium, so we will be using 87 octane. All right, so we got 87. Now, this will probably not put hardly anything in here. Maybe a gallon or so. Well, I've driven it for about a day. All right, 1.437, so a little bit, $5. All right, so we are now filled up. Just in case you're wondering, we have got $4.49 for premium here in Illinois, $3.99 for 89, and $3.49 for 87. All right, that's it. We're all filled up, and let's take a look at the number inside here, and then we'll get started. Okay, so you can see that it's 35 miles of electric still, 0.3 miles battery. We haven't gone anywhere. And now our range is 503 miles. I think this is probably going to go up a little bit as we start to drive, maybe. Maybe not, but you can see right now it says we got total combined gas and electric of 503 miles. That's amazing. Okay, let's get going and let's see what the electric and the gas mile per gallon combined is going to be. As we drive, I'm going to update you in each town, but we're going to start out here and we're going to do a loop through this town before we take off, which is a little different than what we have done previously. Then I'm going to tell you the parameters of this test, kind of what we did to start it differently and how it's going to end. All right, we are back out on the highway after making that loop through town. So far we've gone 5.9 miles in all electric, and it says 71 miles per gallon, but you can see that is definitely climbing up. I don't know why it always starts at 4.7 and then it climbs, where a lot of them will always just start with 0 or no mile per gallon. So this one's just a little bit different. This whole car and hybrid system is all a little bit different. I'm going to give you parameters of the test right now and a little bit of why this hybrid is a little different than others. So even if you have joined me on these drives before, this one's going to be a little bit different. So we had to change our starting point and our ending point, but we are still driving through the same route, through the same roads that we always drive on. The reason that we had to change is because of this hybrid system. So unlike most plug-in hybrid systems, they generally have a switch so that you can drive in electric only, or you can even switch it over and drive with just the engine and save your battery for a later time. And the other thing is it usually will use all electric before it ever kicks over to the gas, unless you really put your foot down and stomp it. This one is different. So one, you don't have an EV only button. You also are EV only mode. You also don't have a gas engine only mode. So there are no modes to change in this. So this is set up to drive in electric first every single time, but it's also driving hybrid. So when it feels that it needs to use the engine to stay up to speed or to get up to speed, it will use it. So it will switch back and forth more often, or actually it will switch back and forth more like a hybrid, traditional hybrid, than a plug-in hybrid, a traditional plug-in hybrid, or other plug-in hybrids. So that is the reason that we had to switch our location, because we had to leave after it was fully charged and reset everything at that point, and then go down to the gas station and get gas, and then go. Now, we are driving 100 miles. 50 miles in one direction, we're going to turn around and we're going to drive 50 miles in the exact opposite direction. Same roads, everything, same route. During that drive, we're going to drive through 2 cities. Those 2 cities, we're going to make full loops through the city, so we hit stoplights, stop signs, some traffic, some things like that. Then we're going to go on the highway and in between those 2 towns, and then after the second town, we get up on the interstate. We're going to drive 10 miles on the interstate. That's going to hit our 50 miles. We're going to turn around and we're going to come back and do it all the same on the way back, just in reverse order. 2 towns, loops through those towns, and then we'll come back to the gas station. We'll fill up. We'll see how much gas we actually used. Now, this is a plug-in hybrid, so this is going to be a combination of the electric drive miles and the gasoline drive miles. So 32 approximately is what this is rated at. We saw 34 or 36 when we started up. Now, whether that's going to hold true or not, I don't know, but it's nice that this actually does keep track of how many miles you're driving in electric. The other thing that we do is we drive 5 miles per hour over the speed limit, because that is what most normal people do. The average of what people do is 5 miles per hour over the speed limit. So that's what we're going to do. So that's 35 to 50 in town, and then 60 on the highway and 75 on the interstate. We drive in normal mode, which is only one mode for this, and that is its normal mode. Climate control is set between 68 and 72 depending on the vehicle. Sometimes you need 68, sometimes you need 72. Temperature outside right now is about 80 degrees, so it's a good weather for this test. Doesn't seem to be too much wind today, probably less than 10 miles per hour, so this really shouldn't have too much effect, but that's why we do this and go one way and then do it in reverse order, so we negate any terrain or climate conditions. I believe that I covered everything, but when we get back to the gas station at the end, we will use a calculator and divide how many gallons we used out of 100 miles. And that will give us a real world mile per gallon number and what you can expect on a daily basis if you charge this up and then take off and drive for the day. That's what you're going to see on a more regular basis. All right, I hope that was enough information for you guys. If you have any questions about anything else, put it down in the comments and I will try to answer it the best that I can, or I will find the answer for you. So now I'm gonna update you when we get to the next town. We'll do a loop through that town and get up on the interstate. When we get up on the interstate, I will give you more information about this Pacifica. All right, we have entered our second town now. We're gonna make a loop through this town. So far, we are at 26 miles driven and 88.6 miles per gallon. So it just keeps climbing, but you can see up at the top, it says current 99 miles per gallon. So this one just counts up instead of starting it up and goes down. So this one everything is just a little bit different about this Pacifica Hybrid than traditional, or not traditional, but other plug-in hybrids. So that's where we're at. Like I said, we are going to make a loop through this town and I will update you before we get up on the interstate. We have made our loop through town and we are actually still not running on gas yet. So 33 miles, 33.1 miles so far, and all in electric, and 87.9 mile per gallon is what it says. You still see up in the top, current 99 miles per gallon. We are getting ready to get up on the interstate, so I can guarantee you the gas engine is going to kick in, especially when I accelerate onto the interstate. But like I said, the battery is depleted, or at the very end of where it's going to now kick into a full hybrid mode that will, run your start stop and that type of stuff, but not be actually driving miles. So here we go. We're going to accelerate, and there's that engine. You can hear it. We're going to get up to 75, and we're locked in at 75. 33.9 total miles, 33.6 miles of electric, and 80.1 miles per gallon. So we're going to gradually see that slowing down, dropping off, and everything as we drive now. So, all right, I'm going to give you guys a little information about this Pacifica, then I'll update you where we're at when we turn around and head back. Officially, this is called the 2024 Chrysler Pacifica Select Plug-in Hybrid Premium S Appearance. So that is the full name of this thing. Basically, you just call it a Pacifica Hybrid with an appearance package. That makes it a lot easier. Pricing on this starts out at around $57, I believe. This one, with all its options and everything, I believe is up over $60. I'll see if I can pull that information up here in just a little bit. But this is really nice. The interior hasn't been changed for several years. I'm sure that they have updated software and little things like that, but this layout and the way that it is in here, I believe they said is still the same since 2019. But it does still look nice. It does still fit this time. They did a really good job with this layout, and the screen was, this thing's a 12.5-inch screen, and it is easily pretty much what they are now and everything. We talked about the hybrid system earlier, and it is different from other plug-in hybrids. Like I said, there isn't a mode button, so you can't change any modes. You can't drive only EV, and so it's going to use the gas engine when it feels like it needs to. Kind of more like a hybrid, but it's gonna run electric and only use the gas when it has to, until it runs out, and then it's gonna switch over to the gas and then basically be a hybrid, because it retains part of the battery to run hybrid functions. The ride is nice and smooth in here. There is plenty of room in here. The cargo area is massive. The stow and go seats are awesome. Gives you plenty of room if you don't need that third row. This has about 260 horsepower. I feel that it probably needs more. I think that this probably needs something closer to 300. You know, this is going to get you in crazy gas mileage though, with this hybrid system. So you have to just kind of weigh that. You can get 260 with this hybrid system, or you can get like 278 out of the regular V6. I don't think 18 horsepower is enough to make a difference on, so I would still choose this hybrid. But if it was something like going to 320 horsepower, then that would make a huge difference. And that would be something that I would look into. So fuel economy, we did mention this earlier, but I'll talk about it again. This on the gas engine is 30 miles per gallon. The electric portion is about 82 miles per gallon equivalent. And what we're doing today is going to figure out what the combination of the electric and the gas mile per gallon is, because EPA doesn't tell us that. I'm guessing they just don't test that. But that's what we want to know, because that's what we drive and what we see every day, right? That's what we see. We don't see only gas, or we don't see only electric. We see them combined together most of the time. So that's what we need to know. What is the combined mile per gallon? And that's what I am here to help you figure out. If you are interested in this, like I said, you're going to be in this one here, you're going to be in the upper 50s, low 60s for this one, and you're going to be probably pushing close to maybe 65 to 70 on the Pinnacle version. But all those numbers and all that stuff will be in the full review that I will have on this. It is up on the channel now, and I will link it at the end of this video. So make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss that. And I am going to update you here in a little bit when we turn around. We're getting ready to get into some construction, because that is real world stuff, and that's what we're here for. So I'm going to do that, and I'll update you in just a minute. All right, we have made it to our turnaround point off the exit here, and you can see we're kind of driving through some construction, so we had a little bit slower speed. But right now we have driven 47.3 miles and 57.8 miles per gallon. So doing great, almost 60 miles per gallon on this thing. Of course, we know that it's going to keep continuing to drop, but so far it's doing great. Usually we don't have much traffic here, and we can usually just go right out here and turn around. We have one truck, and then we can go. We just go out here, go across the overpass, and then we go back down onto the interstate. It's pretty simple. Drive through a little bit of construction to start, and then we will be on our way. We'll set the cruise at 75, just like we did on the way here, and then I will update you guys when we get off of the interstate. But right now we're going to get on here again, and we'll give you a quick update. Can't usually, when there isn't construction, usually I will accelerate again, let you guys hear the engine, that type of thing. But with this construction, can't really do that. So we're going to get out here. Let me give you a little bit. Yeah, you can't really hear it. It's actually pretty quiet in this cabin. What we've got now is 48.2 miles and 57 miles per gallon. You can see 12.9 miles of gasoline and 35.4 miles of electric. So, okay, I will update you guys when we are getting off the interstate and heading back into town. All right, we're getting off the interstate right now. We are at 62.1 miles and 47.4 miles per gallon. So we're still hovering. Oh, we're still over 45, so that's great. It looks like maybe we're going to settle in somewhere around 40, but we'll see how it goes. We're going to make a loop through this town, and then I'll update you afterwards. All right, we made our loop through town. We're heading back out onto the highway, a freshly redone highway. I still got to put some of the lines down, but okay. So far, we are 69.2 total miles and 46.4 miles per gallon. You see 40.6 total miles of electric and 28.7 miles of gas. So it's looking really good. Like I said, I think it's going to settle in right at around 40 miles per gallon, somewhere in that range, but we'll have to see. So whenever we are heading back to our next town now, and we'll make a loop through that town and then end at the gas station. So I will update you as we enter that town. Okay, we are heading into town right now. We're going to make a loop through this town. Where we're at right now is 90.5 miles, 44.9 miles per gallon. Oh, 45 miles per gallon. You can see 44.8 miles of electric, 45.8 miles of gas. So almost a 50-50 split. So I will update you after the loop. We are heading back out onto the highway to head back to the gas station. This is our last portion. So after making that loop through town, we are 94.3 miles and 44.3 miles per gallon. Well, I was projecting 40 miles per gallon, but it looks like it's going to be even better than that. So I will give you the final numbers at the gas station, and then we'll run the real world calculated numbers and see where we're at. We're back at the gas station. We are going to pull in here and we're going to get the same pump that we had earlier. And there we go. We are complete. We are in park. So 103.8 miles. I don't know why it's that high. Generally, we come in right at 100 or just over 100. So I thought I pretty much drove the exact same. We drove a little extra. Anyway, 43.6 miles per gallon. So that's where we're at on the car. Now we're going to get filled up and we'll do some calculations. Let's get this filled up. Now, like I said earlier, there is no specification on premium fuel, so we just use regular gas. So we're going to get filled up right now. Out 87, and let's see what we get. Okay, 1.878 is what our number is. Wow, this is going to be awesome. Okay, let's get our receipt if they give us one. Okay. Since this is a different gas station than the one earlier, this one is a smaller gas station. So I'm going to go ahead and go the block and a half down to the house and we'll do the numbers from there. But we saw, I'll have up on the screen what we had at the end, and you guys already saw that, or you should have saw that if you've been watching. And then we will see how close everything is. When we finished that drive at the gas station, you saw that it was 43.6 miles per gallon is what the Pacifica is recording. Now, it also said we drove 103.8 miles. So we are going to divide 103.8 miles divided by the 1.878 gallons that we put back in after the test. So 103, calculator up, 103.8 divided by 1.878. 1.878. Whoa. This says 55.27. Can you imagine that? That means that this is over 10 miles per gallon off. That does not seem right. That is 12.2 miles per gallon higher than what the car even says. But that's what we got. So that's the number I have to report because that's what we ended up with. So the 2024 Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid real world mile per gallon is going to come in at 55.27 miles per gallon. It's crazy to say, but if you think about it, this has a 16.5 gallon tank, I think, and you're gonna get this is 507 miles just for the gas part. And then I'm gonna plug it in, and I'm gonna add another 32 miles onto that. So now you're looking at about 540 miles of range out of 16 gallons of gas. If you haven't done it yet, go down and click subscribe, then watch one of the videos that's up on the screen. The one that I chose for you is going to be the full review of this Chrysler Pacifica, and the other one YouTube chose for you. So I think you're going to enjoy both of them. So I will see you in that next video.